Hi, I thought my next video I'd do a quick behind the scenes view of how HypBuddy is put together. Okay, I use Flash Builder 4.5 with Flex 4.5. This is it. Basically these are the packages on the left. Basically it's divided into views, which are obviously the views you get on the screen. Currently I've got the login view open. I'll show you the design view. That's the design view, although I do tend to do most of my work in source. I'll scroll down to the bottom, you can see these are the XML markup. So that's a vertical group, and your label and your text inputs, your username, password, a button, and a bit of a message. We hold down Control and click it, and jump you should up to the click handler for the button. Basically it just passes it across and then calls main. Our main is a singleton. I tend to use as a communicator between the views and the business logic in all the other classes. And because it's a singleton, it's extended from an event dispatcher. It can it acts as a global, so it can be used everywhere, and it can dispatch and listen for events as well. So it's a very useful pattern. So there's the login function. So basically it instantiates one of the other Hype objects. These tend to be collections or pages in Hypes. So there's the login page. There it is, hiding. Okay, this is the login page, so it instantiates itself. The first thing it does is it calls a service. This is one of the really cool things about Flex, is the Hype service. So these are all the methods. And those correspond, if I open PHP Eclipse version. See, this is a hypeservice.php that runs on the server, and these are all the methods, and they correspond to the Flex methods, and you just literally call them same as you would any other. So there you go, hypeservice.login passes the username and password. It's asynchronous obviously, so you have to put your listeners on there so it listens for the results. So I'll show you what this actually happens on the server side of it now. So it comes through a gateway which converts it to AMF, but the login there, look. So it passes username and login, and it obviously is another class. So unlog it. There you go, it makes up the URL. It uses pair to make the request, then checks if you get any cookies back. If it's a good login, then you get a set of cookies. If not, there isn't any. So then it sends that back to the Hype service, then it sends it back through the gateway, and comes back into Flex. And there you go, result. The event.result is the cookies. It passes that to another global variable I use. I tend to use them in all my programs again, and dispatches another event back to main. There's the login listener, and once it has logged in, it instantiates all the other objects over here: moving fleet, control planets, home planets, inbox, all that malarkey, and it pushes the navigator to the home view. I'll give you a quick demonstration of one of the things I've been adding lately. I use the emulator rather than trying to hold a video camera. Probably a bit clearer, but it doesn't look as good when it's on the phone. So I'll log in. Home planets view. And close the infiltrations as well now. Also, you can turn stations on and off. Turn stations off. This is another function. Unfortunately, I only added this today, so I've already tested it on all the planets, and they're all increasing. But it does seem to work. I haven't tested it whether it increases the captive planet or not, which it shouldn't do. Anything less than 90 will increase, but I don't have that, so I haven't actually tested it. But you're welcome to try. Also got a start all. Obviously I've only got 2. The trouble is I've been on a lot of planets lately, so it tends to be quite a lot. What it does, it sends it off to the server, and the server then request to Hyperiums, but it puts a 2-second gap in between. So obviously, if you've got about 100 planets, that's 200 seconds. So it's going to time out on this end. So you might well get a fault error. There you go, you've got a fault. If I go back, there's 2 infills. Go back. I don't tend to refresh unless you want to do it manually, because I am aware that it does cost you money to download stuff. Didn't mean to do that. And yeah, refresh. There we go. What page was that? That one there, wasn't it? So up to 22 infills now. So the server obviously is still working, even though I've made another refresh. But if I go back and look at the show the foreign fleets page, I've also included infills in this, which is quite useful if you can see the actual the fleet that's on the planet, the exploits, and whether you've got it infiltrated or not. It's quite useful. And it also tells you which planet. Back to home planets again. Let's see what's there, 22. Refresh. It's up to 43 now, so the server will carry on working until it's finished or you run out of money. And I suggest that you don't do 2 at the same time, obviously, or you're going to get yourself blocked. But hope that's useful to you. Cheers.